What is up, Star Wars fans? My name is Mandalore and welcome to another Star Wars discussion video. Today we're going to be talking about the implications of Kylo Ren turning to the light. Will Kylo Ren turn to the light side in Star Wars Episode 9? I've got a few theories floating around that I want to bring and discuss, and a few of my own theories as well that I believe are going to be quite important within the context of Episode 9. So one of the massive things that's been talked about recently within the context of the trailer coming out is, you know, what is the start of the trailer signifying? A lot of people have said that this is some sort of fight between Kylo and Rey. However, I feel like it might be something different. I believe there's two different distinct possibilities that could be more logical than them having a fight in a desert and Kylo Ren not shooting her instead of trying to run her over. There could be reasons that maybe his blasters are destroyed in some sort of battle, but I believe these two reasons will be more convincing and more logical within this case. So, my first idea is Rey and Kylo are training with each other on this desert planet. This could be the start of the film, could be at the end of the film. We already know that Darth Sidious will be returning in Episode 9, so maybe they do need to team up to take out the greater evil, and within that case, Kylo then becomes surrogately training her. However, another spin to this is we don't see Kylo's face in the cockpit. I know there's been a lot of leaks, and I'm going to put them up on screen at the moment, suggesting that, you know, everything matches up in terms of what Kylo is wearing and his ship to what the quick cuts between the hands of the fighter. This could be misdirection though. We don't know what's happening here. Could we be seeing, this is going to sound really mad, could we be seeing a Anakin or Obi-Wan Force Ghost or a Luke Force Ghost training Rey in the desert? It's a possibility. It could happen. We don't know that the rules are going on at the moment. We seem to be breaking a lot of rules within Star Wars around the canon, which is fine because they've rewritten a lot of the canon already. So that could be a possibility. My second sort of anecdote towards this theory of Kylo and Rey being in this desert together working is, it comes from a screenshot of the trailer, which I'll put on screen as well. This is the bit where we see the jet troopers pursuing Poe, Finn and C-3PO on a barge. The setting looks very similar to what we're seeing in the first opening shots of the trailer. So another theory I have surrounds, this is going to sound really weird, it surrounds jousting. So traditionally jousting is where, if you don't know, I'm sure you probably do, a medieval knight would get on a horse with a stick and essentially charge at people and knock them off and kill them, you know, using that. So could we be seeing some sort of form of jousting, which sounds really weird? If Kylo and Rey are working together and they need to stop the jet troopers, they might be controlled by the Knights of Ren, they might be controlled by Palpatine. If these two are working together, you know, Rey jumps over the ship, which we see, obviously it cuts to black straight as she gets into the air, which could mean that she lands on the ship and is holding onto the ship using her lightsaber as a sort of jousting weapon to then fight off the troopers that are pursuing Poe, Finn and C-3PO. It's an interesting theory. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but it does sound like a cool bit of concept. It does match up with a little bit of the ideas that JJ has been saying around the amount of stunts that Daisy Ridley's having to do and how awesome a lot of her action sequences are. So it could be justifiable. So let's move on from Kylo and Rey and talk about Kylo again, because this is what this video is about. So Kylo, why would he turn from the dark side? I believe one of the reasons he could turn from the dark side would be Anakin's Force Ghost. Now, we had massive rumours surrounding, will Hayden Christensen be in Star Wars Episode 9 as a Force Ghost? He was at Celebration at the weekend doing autographs. He wasn't on stage, obviously. He wasn't brought out and said explicitly, you're going to be in, or he's going to be in Star Wars Episode 9. However, there's really strong links. We've seen concept art from Episode 7 already having a Force flashback ghost thing of Anakin. So why not? Why not use the original concept art for Episode 7 and bring Anakin back? Does he have a conversation with Kylo that then justifies his means? You know, Kylo at the moment knows Anakin as Darth Vader. He only knows what he's been talking to, which is the helmet, which essentially is a lot of dark side Force energy in that helmet. The only context he's got through his grandfather is through the anger and the hate. And, you know, if Anakin is to be a Force Ghost and he comes down and says, this is the reason I've done all I did was for Padme. It was, you know, it wasn't misguided. Palpatine, you know, did this to me. He forced me into it. And then we've also got Palpatine in the background constructing war against the Resistance and the First Order potentially. It could be a very heavy signifier for Kylo to then think, I need to justify what I'm doing here. My grandfather's told me I'm misleaded, Luke was right, Han was right, whatever. It could be quite an interesting way that Kylo is influenced to maybe turn away from the dark side. So this is a point that I covered as well in my previous video surrounding Palpatine and how he would return. But I'm going to use it in the context of why Kylo Ren might turn to the light side again. In regards to Knights of Ren, we know the Knights of Ren are in this. We know they've got a pretty prominent role from the leaked advertising we've seen. The rumours are that Kylo has sent the Knights of Ren to find something in order to enhance his dark side power, to find, explore the outer regions, whatever the theory is around this. What I said in my Palpatine video is that perhaps they find a Palpatine holocron, perhaps they find a Palpatine robot that then brings them to bringing back Palpatine, or allows them to bring him back. Or he brings himself back with their help, something along those lines. In conjunction with this conversation with Anakin that Kylo might have, if there is a greater evil that is Palpatine out there that wants to destroy the galaxy and not just overthrow the First Order or destroy the Resistance, Kylo justify his means and say, actually I need to fight for the galaxy rather than fighting within this Resistance versus First Order. And maybe his connection with Rey does bring him to the light after that. It's a very interesting theory. How do the Knights of Ren play into this? Are they fighting Kylo, or is Kylo fighting with them? We see in that quick shot of the trailer, which I'll put on screen, that it looks like a rebel or a Resistance fighter, or it could be a Knights of Ren person. It also could be a flashback because, as we see, Kylo Ren doesn't have a scar in this picture, so we don't know what's going on. Maybe the scar is CGI'd on later on and we're just being misdirected. Maybe this is a First Order versus the Knights of Ren sort of thing going on. Who knows? Next theory. Who are the Red Troopers advertised in the promotional leaks? Now, we've seen the Red Stormtroopers or First Order Troopers in the advertising for Star Wars Episode 9. However, we haven't had any confirmation they're actually in the film other than those leaked images. I'll put them on the screen at the moment just so you can see. Hopefully I don't get demonetised or taken down. My theory is these troopers are Palpatine's private army, or the Knights of Ren's army. What we've heard is that these troopers serve the Knights of Ren. Probably why we haven't seen them in the films before now. If they were out on the Outer Rim with the Knights of Ren, then we won't see them, obviously. So now they're back and they do serve the Knights of Ren. Perhaps this is the reason why Kylo is fighting with the White Stormtroopers behind him in that shot in the trailer. Maybe he's fighting the Red Troopers off screen and we can't see them at the moment because the camera's not panned in enough, which is again a very interesting theory. I'm sort of laying the groundwork here for justifying how Kylo can be turned to the light, because he's essentially unredeemable, isn't he? He's killed his own father, intentionally tried to kill Luke as well, and he has killed Luke because Luke had to sacrifice himself to allow the Resistance to escape. He was very close to killing his own mother. I think he probably wouldn't have done it in the end. Luckily or not luckily, a TIE interceptor did shoot, so that happened. When he killed Snoke, he isn't. You'd think that would be the turning point for him, where he's killed Snoke and he can then establish he can get rid of the First Order. However, he just tries to rule again. He doesn't think about the implications of him becoming the leader of the First Order. He instead just wants the power. So finally, I keep teasing I'm going to be doing a big breakdown of what the title Rise of Skywalker means. Here's my first theory. I'm going to have to use it in this video because it makes so much sense within Kylo turning to the light. What does the Rise of Skywalker actually mean? I think it probably can mean one thing. I think it can mean a few things. That's why I'm going to make a video about it. But one of the prominent theories I've read and I've heard about is that the Rise of Skywalker is in relation to Kylo Ren. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Kylo's name was Ben Solo before he became Kylo Ren, so why would he not just go back to Ben Solo? Now, the interesting point I've been considering around this is that he probably wouldn't call himself Ben Solo because he betrayed his father. He killed his father. If that is haunting him, which we see it is, and him killing his father had a massive implication on his character. If that was me, I would probably not want to take the mantle of my own father. What I feel like Ben will do if he does turn to the light is he will be calling himself Ben Skywalker instead of Ben Solo, just out of guilt and out of betrayal of not wanting to take his father's name. Again, it links back to the whole of the mythos of the franchise. The Skywalker, he's risen again and he is now reborn as a Skywalker. So yeah, those are my theories regarding how or if Kylo Ren will turn to the light side. Let me know if you think Kylo Ren is going to return as a light side character. Maybe he's already fighting for the good side in the film. We don't actually see Kylo fighting anyone. We don't know what he's doing in the film. We have no idea. This is why it's so interesting. So let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. We've got daily Star Wars videos coming out. May the Force be with you.